Here from a low and prone and listless ground, the passion of the first ascent began. A moon-bright face in a sombre cloud of hair, a woman sat in a pale, lustrous robe. A rugged and ragged soil was her bare seat. Beneath her feet, a sharp and wounding stone. A divine pity on the peaks of the world, a spirit touched by the grief of all that lives. She looked out far and saw from in her mind this questionable world of outward things, of false appearances and plausible shapes. This dubious cosmos stretched in the ignorant void, the pangs of earth, the toil and speed of the stars, and the difficult birth and dolorous end of life. Accepting the universe as her body of old, the mother of the seven sorrows bore the seven steps that pierced her bleeding heart. The beauty of sadness lingered on her face. Her eyes were dim with the ancient stain of tears. Her heart was riven with the world's agony and burdened with this sorrow and struggle in time. An anguished music trailed in her rapt voice. Absorbed in a deep compassion's ecstasy, lifting the mild ray of her patient gaze, in soft, sweet, training words, slowly she spoke. O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. To share the suffering of the world I came. I draw my children's pangs into my breast. I am the nurse of the dolor beneath the stars. I am the soul of all who wailing ride under the ruthless arrow of the gods. I am woman, nurse and slave and beaten beast. I tend the hands that gave me cruel blows, the hearts that spurned my love and zeal I serve. I am the courted queen, pampered doll. I am the giver of the bowl of rice. I am the worshipped angel of the house. I am in all that suffers and that cries. Mine is the prayer that climbs in vain from earth. I am traversed by my creature's agonies. I am the spirit in a world of pain. The scream of tortured flesh and tortured hearts, fallen back on heart and flesh, unheard by heaven, has rent with helpless grief and wrought my soul. I have seen the peasant burning in his heart. I have seen the slashed corpse of the slaughtered child, heard woman's cry ravished and stripped and hailed amid the bayings of the hellhound mob. I have looked on. I had no power to save. I have brought no arm of strength to aid or slay. God gave me love. He gave me not his force. I have shared the toil of the yoked animal drudge, pushed by the goat, encouraged by the whip. I have shared the fear-filled life of bird and beast, its long hunt for the day's precarious food, its coward slink and crouch and hungry proud, its pain and terror seized by beak and claw. I have shared the daily life of common men, its petty pleasures and its petty cares, its press of troubles and haggard hoard of ills. Heart's a trail of sorrow, hopeless of relief, the unwanted, tedious labor without joy, and the burden of misery, and the strokes of fate. I have been pity, leaning over pain, and the tender smile that heals the wounded heart, and sympathy making life less hard to bear. Man has felt near my unseen face and hands. I have become the sufferer and is more. I have lain down with the mangled and the slain. I have lived with the prisoner in his dungeon cell. Heavy on my shoulders weighs the yoke of time, nothing refusing of creation's load. I have borne all, and know I still must bear. Perhaps when the world sinks into a last sleep, I too may sleep in dumb, eternal peace. I have borne the calm indifference of heaven, watched nature's cruelty to suffering things, while God passed silent by, nor turned to help. Yet have I cried not out against his will. Yet have I not accused his cosmic law. Only to change this great, hard world of pain, a patient prayer has risen from my breast. A pallid resignation lights my brow. Within me a blind faith and mercy dwell. I carry the fire that never can be quenched, and the compassion that supports the suns. I am the hope that looks towards my God who never came to me till now. His voice I hear, that ever says, I come. I know that one day he shall come at last. She ceased, and like an echo from below, answering her pathos of divine complaint, a voice of wrath took up the dire refrain. A growl of thunder or roar of angry beast, the beast that crouching growls within man's depths. Voice of a tortured titan once a god. I am the man of sorrows. I am he who is nailed on the white cross of the universe. To enjoy my agony, God to build the earth. My passion he has made his drama's theme. He has sent me naked into his bitter world and beaten me with his rods of grief and pain, that I might cry and grovel at his feet and offer him worship with my blood and tears. I am Prometheus under the vulture's beak. Man is the discoverer of the undying fire. In the flame he kindled, burning like a moth. I am the seeker who can never find. I am the fighter who can never win. I am the runner who never touched his goal. Hell tortures me with the edges of my thought. Heaven tortures me with the splendor of my dreams. What profit have I of my human soul? I toil like the animal die. I am man the rebel, man the helpless serf. Fate and my fellows cheat me of my wage. I loosen with my blood my servitude's seal, and shake from my aching neck the oppressor's knees, only to seat new tyrants on my back. My teachers lesson me in slavery. I am shown God's stamp and my own true signature upon this sorry contract of my faith. I have loved, but none has loved me since my birth. My fruit of works is given to other hands. All that is left to me is my evil thoughts, my sordid quarrel against God and man, envy of the riches that I cannot share, hate of a happiness that is not mine. I know my fate will ever be the same. It is my nature's work that cannot change. I have loved for mine, not for the beloved's sake. I have loved for myself and not for others' lives. Each in himself is sold by nature's law, for God has made his harsh and dreadful world. So has he built the petty heart of man. Only by force and use can man survive. For pity is a weakness in his breast, his goodness is a laxity in the nerves, his kindness an investment for return. His altruism, his ego's other face. He serves the world that him the world may serve. If once the Titan strength could wake in me, if Enceladus from Etna could arise, I then would reign the master of the world, and like a god enjoy man's bliss and pain. But God has taken from me the ancient force. There is a dull consent in my sluggish heart, a fierce satisfaction with my special pangs, as if they made me taller than my kind. Only by suffering can I excel. I am the victim of tightening wills. I am the doer of demoniac deeds. I was made for evil. Evil is my lot. Evil I must be, and by evil live. Naught other can I do, but be myself. What nature made me, that I must remain. I suffer and toil and weep. I mourn and hate. And Savitri heard voice. The echo heard, and turning to her being of pity spoke. Madonna of suffering, mother of grief divine, thou art a portion of my soul, put forth to bear the unbearable sorrow of the world. Because thou art, men yield not to their doom, but ask for happiness and strive with fate. Because thou art, the wretched still can hope, but thine is the power to solace, not to save. One day I will return, a bringer of strength, and make thee drink from the Eternal's cup. His streams of force shall triumph in thy limbs, and wisdom's calm control thy passionate heart. Thy love shall be the bond of humankind, compassion the bright king of nature's acts. Misery shall pass abolished from the earth. The world shall be freed from the anger of the beast, from the cruelty of the titan and his path. There shall be peace and joy forevermore. On passed she in her spirit's upward route, an ardent grandeur climbed mid ferns and rocks, a quiet wind flattered the heart to warmth, a finer perfume breathed from slender trees. All beautiful grew, subtle and high and strange. Here, on a boulder, curved like a huge throne, a woman sat in gold and purple sheen, armed with the trident and the thunderbolt, her feet upon a couchant lion's back. A formidable smile curved round her lips, heaven fire laughed in the corners of her eyes. Her body, a mass of courage and heavenly strength, she menaced the triumph of the nether gods. A halo of lightnings flamed around her head, and sovereignty, a great sister zoned her robe, and majesty and victory sat with her, guarding in the wide cosmic battlefield against the flat equality of death and the all-leveling insurgent night, the hierarchy of the ordered powers, the high changeless values, the peaked eminences, the privileged aristocracy of truth, and in the governing ideals sun, the triumvirate of wisdom, love, and bliss, and the sole autocracy of the absolute light. August on a seat in the inner world of mind, the mother of might looked down on passing things, listened to the advancing tread of time, saw the irresistible wheeling of the suns, and heard the thunder of the march of God. Amid the swaying forces in their strife, sovereign was her word of luminous command, her speech like a war cry rang or a pilgrim chant. A charm restoring hope in failing hearts aspired the harmony of her puissant voice. O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. I have come down into the human world, and the movement watched by an unsleeping eye, and the dark contrariety of earth's fate, and the battle of the bright and somber powers. I stand upon earth's paths of danger and grief, and help the unfortunate, and save the doomed. To the strong I bring the guerdon of their strength, to the weak I bring the armor of my horse. To men who long I carry their coveted joy. I am fortune, justifying the great and wise by the sanction of the plaudits of the crowd, then trampling them with the armed heel of fate. My ear is leaned to the cry of the oppressed. I topple down the thrones of tyrant kings. A cry comes from proscribed and hunted lives, appealing to me against the pitiless world, a voice of the forsaken, and desolate, and the lone prisoner in his dungeon cell. Men hail in my coming the Almighty's force, or praise with thankful tears His Saviour grace. I smite the Titan who bestrides the world, and slay the ogre in his blood-stained den. I am Durga, goddess of the proud and strong, and Lakshmi, queen of the fair and fortunate. I wear the face of Kali when I kill. I trample the corpses of the demon hordes. I am charged by God to do His mighty work. Uncaring, I serve His will, who sent me forth, reckless of peril and earthly consequence. I reason not of virtue and of sin, but do the deed He has put into my heart. I fear not for the angry frown of heaven. I flinch not from the red assault of hell. I crush the opposition of the gods, tread down a million goblin obstacles. I guide man to the path of the divine, and guard him from the red wolf and the snake. I set in his mortal hand my heavenly sword, and put on him the breastplate of the gods. I break the ignorant pride of human mind, and lead the thought to the wideness of the truth. I rend man's narrow and successful life, and force his sorrowful eyes to gaze at the sun, that he may die to earth and live in his soul. I know the goal, I know the secret route. I have studied the map of the invisible worlds. I am the battle's head, the journey's star. But the great obstinate world resists my word, and the crookedness and evil in man's heart is stronger than reason, profounder than the pit, and the malignancy of hostile powers puts craftily back the clock of destiny, and mightier seems than the eternal will. The cosmic evil is too deep to unroot. The cosmic suffering is too vast to heal. A few I guide who pass me towards the light. A few I save. The mass falls back unsaved. A few I help. The many strive and fail. But my heart I have hardened, and I do my work. Slowly the light grows greater in the east. Slowly the world progresses on God's road. His seal is on my task. It cannot fail. I shall hear the silver swing of heaven's gates when God comes out to meet the soul of the world. She spoke, and from the lower human world, an answer, a warped echo, met her speech. The voice came through the spaces of the mind, of the dwarf Titan, the deformed chained god, who strives to master his nature's evil stuff and make the universe his instrument. The ego of this great world of desire claimed earth and the wide heavens for the use of man. Head of the life it shapes on earth, its representative and conscious soul and symbol of evolving light and force, and vessel of the Godhead that must be. A thinking animal, nature's struggling lord, has made of her his nurse and tool and slave, and pays to her as wage and emolument inescapably by a deep law in things, his heart's grief and his body's death and pain. His pains are a means to grow, to see, and feel his death assists our immortality. A tool and slave of his own slave and tool, he praises his free will and his master mind, and is pushed by her upon her chosen paths. Possessor, he is possessed, and ruler, ruled. Her conscious automaton, her desires dupe. His soul is her guest, a sovereign mute in earth, his body her robot, his life her way to live. His conscious mind her strong, revolted serf. The voice rose up and smote some inner sun. I am the heir of the forces of the earth. Slowly I make good my right to my estate. A growing Godhead in a divinized mud I climb, a claimant to the throne of heaven. The last born of the earth, I stand the first. Her slow millenniums waited for my birth. Although I live in time, besieged by death, precarious owner of my body and soul, housed on a little speck amid the stars, for me and my use, the universe was made. Immortal spirit in the perishing clay, I am God still unevolved in human form. Even if he is not, he becomes in me. The sun and moon are lights upon my path. Air was invented for my lungs to breathe, conditioned as a wide and wall-less space for my winged chariot's wheels to cleave a road. The sea was made for me to swim and sail and bear my golden commerce on its back. It loves, cloven by my pleasures, gliding keel. I laugh at its black stare of fate and death. The earth is my floor, the sky my living roof. All was prepared through many a silent age. God made experiments with animal shapes. Then only, when all was ready, I was born. I was born weak and small and ignorant, a helpless creature in a difficult world, travelling through my brief years with death at my side. I have grown greater than nature, wiser than God. I have made real what she never dreamed. I have seized her powers and harnessed for my work. I have shaped her metals and new metals made. I will make glass and raiment out of milk, make iron velvet, water unbreakable stone, like God in his astuce of artist skill, mold from one primal plasm protean forms in single nature, multitudinous lives, all that imagination can conceive in the mind intangible, remold anew in matters plastic, solid, and concrete. No magic can surpass my magic's skill. There is no miracle I shall not achieve. What God imperfect left, I will complete. Out of a tangled mind and half-made soul, his sin and error I will eliminate. What he intended not, I shall invent. He was the first creator, I am the last. I have found the atoms from which he built the worlds, the first tremendous cosmic energy, missioned, shall lead to slay my enemy king, expunge a nation, or abolish a race. Death's silence leave where there was laughter and joy. All the fissured invisible shall spend God's force to extend my comforts and expand my wealth, to speed my car, which now the lightnings drive, and turn the engines of my miracles. I will take his means of sorcery from his hands, and do with them greater wonders than is best. Yet, through it all, I have kept my balanced thought. I have studied my being. I have examined the world. I have grown a master of the arts of life. I have tamed the wild beast, trained to be my friend. He guards my house, looks up, waiting my will. I have taught my kind to serve and to obey. I have used the mystery of the cosmic waves to see far distance and to hear far words. I have conquered space and knitted close all earth. Soon I shall know the secrets of the mind. I play with knowledge and with ignorance, and sin and virtue my inventions are. I can transcend or sovereignly use. I shall know mystic truths, seize occult powers. I shall slay my enemies with a look or thought. I shall sense the unspoken feelings of all hearts, and see and hear the hidden thoughts of men. When earth is mastered, I shall conquer heaven. The gods shall be my aids, or menial folk. No wish I harbor, unfulfilled shall die. Omnipotence and omniscience shall be mine. And Savitri heard the voice, the word echo her, and turning to her being of power, she spoke. Madonna of might, mother of works and force, thou art a portion of my soul, put forth to help mankind and help the travail of time. Because thou art in him, man hopes and dares. Because thou art, men's souls can climb the heavens and walk like gods in the presence of the Supreme. But without wisdom, power is like a wind. It can breathe upon the heights and kiss the sky. It cannot build the extreme, eternal things. Thou hast given men strength, wisdom thou couldst not give. One day I will return, a bringer of light. Then I will give to thee the mirror of God. Thou shalt see self and world as by him they are seen, reflected in the bright pool of thy soul. Thy wisdom shall be vast, as vast thy power. Then hate shall dwell no more in human hearts, and fear and weakness shall desert men's lives. The cry of the ego shall be hushed within. His lion roar that claims the world as food, all shall be might and bliss and happy force. Ascending still her spirit's upward route, she came into a high and happy space, a wide tower of vision, whence all could be seen, and all was centered in a single view, as when by distance separate scenes grow one, and a harmony is made of hues at war. The wind was still, and fragrance packed the air. There was a carol of birds, and murmur of bees, and all that is common and natural and sweet, yet intimately divine to heart and soul. A nearness thrilled of the spirit to its source, and deepest things seemed obvious, close, and true. Here, living center of that vision of peace, a woman sat in clear and crystal light. Heaven had unveiled its luster in her eyes. Her feet were moonbeams. Her face was a bright sun. Her smile could persuade a dead, lacerated heart to live again and feel the hands of calm. A low music heard became her floating voice. O Savitri, I am thy secret soul. I have come down to the wounded, desolate earth to heal her pangs and lull her heart to rest and lay her head upon the mother's lap, that she may dream of God and know His peace and draw the harmony of higher spheres into the rhythm of earth's rude, troubled days. I show to her the figure of bright gods and bring strength and solace to her struggling light. High things that now are only words and forms, I reveal to her in the body of their power. I am peace that steals into man's war-worn breast. Amid the rain of hell, his acts create a hostel where heaven's messengers can lodge. I am charity with the kindly hands that bless. I am silence mid the noisy tramp of life. I am knowledge pouring on our cosmic map. In the anomalies of the human heart, where good and evil are close bedfellows, and light is by darkness dogged at every step, where his largest knowledge is in ignorance, I am the power that labors towards the best, and works for God, and looks up towards the heights. I make even sin and error stepping stones, and all experience a long march towards light. Out of the inconscient, I build consciousness and lead through death to reach immortal life. Many are God's forms by which He grows in man. They stamp His thoughts and deeds with divinity, uplifts the stature of the human clay, or slowly transmute it into heaven's gold. He is the good for which men fight and die. He is the war of right with titan wrong. He is freedom, rising deathless from our pyre. He is valor, guarding still the desperate pass, or lone and erect on the shattered barricade, or a sentinel in the dangerous echoing night.